This is that.
Can you
thing
approve
that
of the
I
agenda?
Can I do an addition to the
This
agenda?
is just another question.
Absolutely.
So after 5.1, I want to add in the USDA RBBG application.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries. And motion to approve the minutes of the February 26th DA board meeting.
I did not think I included those in there. My apologies.
What's that?
They are not included in your packet, I don't believe, but. So we'll approve them at the next one.
Motion, and a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Financial reports, EDA program funds report.
Has a slightly different look. I added in the childcare fund that I've recently linked up to that, as well as broke out Fund 46 as we developed the rehabilitation program. The other thing to note is that we will have a loan payoff here soon from Hope and Faith. I believe May 1st is the date it's supposed to be.
Is it, that's on the outstanding loans report?
Yes. Under Fund 46, or 45.
Oh. Any questions? Whole business delinquent loan payment plan request.
So this is the delinquent loan in the down payment assistance program. Jennifer Bean reached out to request an adjusted payment plan for her remaining portion. I've got the numbers there and happy to have Patrick or Chris give you some more background on that situation. Patrick?
Do you want to elaborate on that situation?
As far as which,
Or do you want me to elaborate on what she's requesting?
I can explain it. So the judgment sum was $4,687.53. A portion of that is with principal and accrued interest and $70 in taxes and fees. Half of that balance is $2,343.765. She's proposed to pay $1,500 down and then make monthly payments to the end of 2024 to cover the remaining balance on her portion of the principal balance. Those estimated monthly payments are about $120.53. So what we have here is for you to discuss whether you want to approve the proposed payment plan.
What do we do with the other half?
Yeah,
That is where I point to Patrick.
Fair enough. Yeah, the short answer to that is you should, but I would put language in the stipulation with her that if she fails to follow through at any stage in the process, that we'll resume collection.
So are we only asking her to pay half of what is owed?
Yeah, and technically she's joint severally liable for all of it, but if we can get half of it paid, we'll extract the rest from the other debtor.
Okay,
We've had to file things for him for garnishment, so.
okay,
He hasn't made any proposals for resolution. She has. And in fact, she hasn't really resided there for a significant period of time. I want to say it's multiple years, but I can't recall off the top of my head.
so we're still going after the other half, and we'll just be.
Yeah, the remaining half would be pursued through the husband.
Okay.
If she's willing to do that, then it's the clearest path to us getting paid on a debt that's been sitting dormant for some
Yeah.
time. And then eventually we will collect the remainder.
Okay.
The easy way or the hard way, so to speak.
So do we need a motion on that?
Yes, you would need to approve me reaching that agreement with her as a council.
Okay. I'm gonna make that motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Entrepreneurial roundtable, event summary.
This event was held last Wednesday. We had our mayor as well as several other business owners participate in this event. It was a panel of 6 entrepreneurs as well as our market representative, as our MC, just talking about why they started their business, what surprised them about being in business here, as well as what advice they'd have for future entrepreneurs. The goal for this originally was to connect with some of the younger students, but due to the date, conflicts, things like that, it was more, the audience was more adults. I think going forward, if we want to do events like that to target youth, I would work with school more, do something in school. But they weren't willing at this time, and so I hope in the future we can.
At school or earlier in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Statewide affordable housing aid.
We skipped, sorry, went going into entrepreneur.
Oh, shoot, we forgot.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when it goes.
Okay.
So, the USDA Rural Business Development Grant Program, I applied for that in February of this year. And as part of that, we had done a resolution for $47,000 of Fund 41 to be used as matching funds for that grant. In the conversation with them, I learned that because those funds are still considered federal funds, we cannot use them for a match for a federal grant. We had asked if we could use different funds, but due to the fact that the application has already been submitted, they won't accept a new one, so we had to remove that match. We do lose 10 points, but we have points in other ways, so we'll still see if they can move the application forward with what it has now, and see where it goes. So you'll get a resolution later on tonight at the city council meeting to approve the update of that resolution.
And now going to the statewide
Yes.
affordable housing aid.
So on April 15th, I believe it was, representatives from the county met here in the council chambers to develop a program to use the statewide affordable housing aid. I got in your memo here, we are going to get in Waukegan County about $174,258. A portion of that came in December of last year, and the rest will come in 2 chunks this year. We've decided as a group to use it as for a countywide housing fix-up fund. This will be a forgivable loan up to $10,000. 10% will be forgiven annually. 0% interest rate, must go to owner-occupied housing, open to manufactured homes as well as single-family homes. The minimum number of homes to be assisted based on this program is 17. We had talked about some of the challenges with what $10,000 can really get you, but we wanted to make sure we could help a number of homes, and we're hoping that the state will see that this program works well and add more funding in the future. So, just wanted to let you know, we'll be going on May 7th to the county board to get approval for that policy, and the estimated launch date is in June of this year.
And then the Medelia Housing Rehabilitation Program.
Yes. So in November of last year, I had met with you all to discuss closing out the down payment assistance program to do a housing rehab program instead. With that statewide affordable housing aid, I wanted to see what the county would put together before we put something together for ourselves. I've got 3 options here in your memo to discuss how we should use that program, whether we should use it as a completely separate program. It cannot be used to match with the county. That does allow more homes to potentially be impacted, but it does minimize the amount of rehabilitation that can be done in those homes. For instance, if they were able to combine them, they could do up to $35,000 of assistance through the 2 programs. If they're separate, it's either $10,000 or $25,000. I've also got the option of they can be used independently, they can be used together, or they have to be used together as matching funds. I can go through those pros a little bit more, but.
Which one do you like, which one have you seen more usage of?
I think option 2, because some people are only going to want a minimal program. I think it's just going to be a bit challenging when they're like, oh, I'm using this program, I'm using that program. There's going to be a little bit of confusion amongst the public, but yeah. It does create, I think the one thing we've talked about as a board is wanting to eliminate some of that timelines, and having two application processes is going to create a timeline challenge for some of those individuals. But I think that allowing them to be used together is the best way forward. And to remind you what we had discussed previously, it was a forgivable loan, up to $25,000, 0%, 10 years, 10% forgiven annually. Pretty similar structure to the counties.
Any discussion or?
How much is in that fund?
So, the fund that we're discussing for this is 46. I've got listed here $213,853 on hand.
So realistically, we're talking 10 maximum loan, not even.
Yeah. If they all go up to the 25,000, yeah. Which I expect that they would.
Is there any outstanding balances in that fund right
Yeah.
now?
That's on page
42.
It's got about 29,000.
So that's on there too for you. Outstanding is 29,000.
Yeah.
That's a down payment assistance one that we don't have any applicants.
What is the goal, the end goal of that fund to just basically
Depleted,
get it out and delete it?
that's your choice.
We have that other fund 39 that is also a housing fund. So if we go through and delete Fund 46, you would do all housing out of Fund 39. However, Fund 39 is restricted to the Small Cities Development Program.
But Fund 39, you're probably gonna only be sitting with 100,000 at the end because all of those will be, forgiven. So you're gonna be sitting with about 100,000 in there.
Yes. Going forward with that one, maybe we look at maybe another SCDP application. To that. Mhm.
And then are there existing qualification, like criteria already put in place?
Or Fund 46.
Well, for this rehab program, or is there's not gonna be, and are they gonna have to give you basically what the project's gonna entail, who's gonna be doing the construction, and then receipts and stuff after? Is that what we're thinking, or
Yeah.
something along those lines?
Yeah. Mhm. This one would just allow a bit more flexibility than the SCDP one.
Yeah. But as far as we're concerned right now, there's not gonna be like an actual, or is there an actual application process that they have to go through?
That'll be drafted.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's not,
Done yet, but once we figure it out, we're gonna have an application process, and then
Yep.
is it something where it's gonna go through like a grading scale to figure out what's it qualified for, or,
in terms of how much money?
well, just in terms of if they are qualified or not, or is there gonna be any stipulations, or is it just gonna be open to everybody?
I believe because it's still HUD funding, it still has a income restriction to it.
Okay.
With the one for the county, Celia, is there like restrictions and everything?
The income restrictions at the county level are going to be up to 115%. That's what we proposed. County board still has to approve it. Up to 115% of area median income. And so that's a higher bar than most are allowed. I think HUD usually allows 80% of area median income.
I think basically tonight, aren't you looking for how comfortable you guys are with what is being proposed? Am I correct?
I just,
Well, if it can be used with the county program or not.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes programs are, you have to be separate, can't work together.
But this would, if we did option 2, it would allow them to have up to 35,000.
If they apply for the other one, get accepted, and
Mhm.
for us to get accepted, yes.
Nice, I have no problem with the program, being partnered with the county program. My bigger concern would be just making sure that if we are gonna be granting this money, that the properties in question, there is gonna be an actual increase on the backside, taxable value.
Okay.
That would be you'd hate to basically give somebody $25,000 to get absolutely nothing on the back end, but, that would be my goal, is just to make sure the project's something that's actually gonna increase the value of the property.
Well, the projects would have to pull a permit,
Yeah,
so then those would all be sent to the assessor's office,
right.
so then you would have to follow up with them. But the last, SCDP, if you look at the values, it was about $30,000. That was about the average that they loaned out, and that was like for new windows, new
Mhm.
siding, new whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if there was, energy compliance factors and stuff like that figured in, that'd be perfect.
Does anybody out there have a problem with depleting that fund?
I don't know, we haven't really had any other ideas to use it.
No, and we all discussed it, it's kind of sitting there, and nobody's doing the down payment assistance, because the criteria that we have doesn't really help them at all.
Right.
And the banks already offer very similar programming.
Yeah.
I would suggest we burn it up.
When he says burn it up, he means.
Use it, use it.
I don't, I can't call it open, I need somebody to.
I can make the motion
Option two?
to approve option 2 or the.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And in the future, I'll use better verbiage.
Either way, new business, homeownership expo.
So, speaking about housing, we wanted to look at ways to increase awareness of all the financial resources in the community for homeowners or potential homeowners. And so, borrowing off of the home show model, we're pulling together organizations and local lenders to present options that they have to the community members here in this space. It'll be on May 19th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, May 16th. We're looking to have interpreters present, and Alliance Bank has offered to sponsor it, meaning that Medelia EDA does not have to worry about any spending of funds, which is wonderful. So far, we have Mark, Medelia EDA, Alliance Bank, Pioneer Bank, Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership, as well as Christensen Communications and Total Lawn Care. Those last two are there to provide some of the opportunities for homeowners for their space as well. And so we reached out to all the local contractors to invite them to be here if they want.
Okay, the event will be held May 19th from 4:30 to 6
It's May 16th, sorry.
on Thursday, May 6th.
Somehow, it's 16th. Ignore the May 19th.
Okay, so it's May 16th.
It's May 16th. Clearly, I had trouble writing this agenda packet. I took 1 month off and something goes wrong.
Staff report.
Only notes in here, EDA budget, Chris and I have worked on that. Those that in the summer for you guys to look at and approve for 2025. 2024 grants opportunity event, Region 9 Development Corporation held an event to have representatives from the USDA, Minnesota Department of Commerce, Smith, University of Minnesota Extension, and Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership. I attended that. Met with Living Meadows, met with Medelia Mobile Village, Medelia Municipal Light Plant. Additionally, the Review Heights Windbreak Project is going in later this month.
How many trees was that out there?
Over 90, because there's shrubs. There's like 90 shrubs and then like 15 deciduous and a bunch of evergreens.
Okay.
a decent number.
Did we ever send anything out to people at Riverview Heights?
Yes, yeah, so
Talk to
they,
the two property owners,
the
didn't
two
they?
property owners who are in that space
Oh.
have been contacted.
Otherwise, they're all owned by us.
Okay.
The other properties are owned by us, so.
Yeah.
Cecilia came in my office and just asked me about it.
I believe you actually sent me an email,
And
saying
then-
you're gonna do this, so.
The mobile village one, is that, when you met with them, that includes like the ordinance for keeping things neat and tidy?
Yeah, that's what we're working on right now.
Okay.
We're working on the zoning, because they're not really included in our zoning ordinance, so we're working on, trying to figure out how to work together in regards to, trying to clean it up,
That's Rob's person.
so.
Can
Okay.
I hear an eye roll?
Might have. I'll do it again if you like.
Not everything? Public comment? Nothing? Need a motion to adjourn then?
Make a motion to adjourn the EDA.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign.